Now what have I gotten myself into? Alright, this is an Epiphone Pro-1 VS that is a little worse for wear that I got at a local pawn shop for $60 fat. Talked them down from 64. And it's got a lot of stuff going on with it. First off, all of the tuner screws were stripped out and loose, as you can see. A little scuffing on the top bout. Just generally filthy, but no cracks or breaks. So we'll start with getting all these tuners off. As you can see, every single one of them is loose. That is clearly a factory defect at this point. So easiest way to fix that is just to plug each of the holes with a little bit of toothpick. I shave it down so I'm not putting a full toothpick in each one. Other problem is the holes in the back of this bridge were far too small. These clearly were the original strings because there was no way to get them out without doing some prying. Highly recommend IPG tape, this thick paper tape if you can get it. And yeah, there's no way those are going back in. They're just too small from the factory. That's just poor workmanship. And here I'm literally just carefully drilling out each of those holes just to enlarge the diameter enough so the string will go in easily and more importantly come back out easily. And then 8 or 9 passes with damp rags and assorted cleaners and polishes just to get a lot of gunk off. And here we are. We've reinstalled the tuners. They're all straight. All right, and now the biggest problem is we've got a little bit of a hump in the neck right around the 11th fret, which is not good. I level crowns with just a regular old fine flat file. Then I use a raking light so that I can see how I'm doing, so I don't need markers every time. Just a little dressing and then various grits of sandpaper to get us polished up a little more. We'll do a final polish on all the frets, but that gets us to a pretty good spot. Okay, and we had a little bit of fret sprout we're taking care of just by dressing the ends. I do this by ear. You can hear the difference. And when everything is where it needs to be, it sounds like this. And yeah, we're just dressing some of the sharp fret ends. This was not well finished from the factory. Again, I generally really like Epiphone stuff, but this guitar seemed to be a library of failures. But here's the before, sharp fret ends, and here's the after. Those are just nipped back. And then after I do that, I take another pass with the flat file just in case there's any burrs that have been popped up. And the bridge is starting to lift on this a little bit. Now it's plenty secure, it's just the wood itself is a little warped. So I'm just using some tight bond and with a few drops of water added and these slightly modified hardware store 5-inch C-clamps. That's plenty of depth to get back to the bridge even on the largest jumbo. I'm just going to paint this slightly thinned tight bond in as best I can along the back edge of this bridge, and only this one portion of the back edge had lifted at all. And then I'm just using that palette knife to kind of wedge it in there, just kind of mashing glue in as best I can. Doesn't need a lot. And then yeah, we'll set our clamps and give it 24 hours to dry. You want to clean up your glue and pull your tape before you leave things to dry. Obviously, that makes cleanup a lot easier. And look at how sharp that is. And here is the only correct stringing method. Pull back, wrap once over, and the rest wind under. There's no knots, there's no locking tuners. And when you're done, it will simply pull right off with no extra fuss. If you're doing it any other way, you're doing it wrong. Now let's listen to me play poorly.
you.